Hello everyone, welcome to a new Let's Play of Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions. This was the winner of the Patron's Choice poll. Nominations taken from those supporting me on Patreon and then voted upon by viewers on YouTube. And I decided to do this this version, the PSP version, rather than the PlayStation 1 version, because it does have some new things. It's not a perfect port. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but it has some new FMV sequences, which are just incredibly gorgeous, in my opinion. And it also has some new characters, new classes, new side quests. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. For me, it really is the animated sequences, the FMVs, that make this the version that I want to play over the PlayStation 1. So let's go ahead and get into it. I am Arazlam, student of Ivalice's middle age. You are familiar with the War of the Lions, no? It was a bitter war of succession that rent the land of Ivalice in two. Here we first find mention of Delita Hero, the hithertofore unknown young man, the hero of who would draw the curtain on this dark act of our history. So basically the whole game is a recitation by one person to another person of the history of an age. His is a heroism of great renown, a story familiar to all who dwell within our land. Ah, but what the eye sees is oftentimes a mere fragment of the truth. There was another young man, the youngest of House Beowulf, long famed for producing leaders of knights and men. There is no official record of the role he played on history's stage. However, according to the Durai papers, the existence of which became known to the public only this last year, they had long lain concealed in church archives. This forgotten young man is, in fact, the true hero. The church maintains he was a heretic, an inciter of unrest, and a disturber of the peace. Which account is to be believed? Join me in my search to uncover the answer. Ah, but before we begin, might I ask you to share with me your name and the date of your birth? Alright, so, the hero's name is canonically Ramza. I will be, of course, going with Auld, because Auld is always the hero. All heroes are named Auld. It's a fact. Is the name Auld all right? Yes, it is. Input your birthday as it appears on the solar calendar. Move the cursor with the left and right buttons, and adjust the date with the top and down buttons. The up and down buttons. Alright, so this will set our zodiac sign. The zodiac sign has a lot to do with the amount of damage that you'll deal and the likelihood of certain things getting off, like status effects. There's good and bad compatibility built into the game, and I'll discuss that a little bit more when we get into it. There's a little tutorial thing that I can get into to show it, but that will actually be a couple episodes away, probably. Anyway, for no particular reason, we are going to choose this date. There are ideal zodiac signs to choose, but I haven't really looked at that. I will be recreating the starting party to get good compatibility, however. Also, Square Enix presents. Yes, this is an example of the FMV that I was talking about. It is incredible, in my opinion. I love it. I would watch an entire series like this. It's a really nice showcase of what they've done with these inserted story sequences, the FMVs. Final Fantasy Tactics. I love the texturing. Looks really good. Really good. But of course, the character designs for this game were by Akihiko Yoshida, who also did Ogre Battle and Tactics Ogre. This game is basically done by the same people who did Tactics Ogre. There is a lot of similarity between the two, for obvious reasons. And of course, Yoshida also did the artwork for Final Fantasy XII, Vagrant Story. I think he did Vagrant Story. A bunch of other games too. Just really good artwork.
O Father, abandon not your wayward children of Ivalice, but deliver us from our sins, that we might know salvation. Lady Ovelia, it is time. I'll not be much longer, Agrias. Your escort has already arrived, Majesty.
Please heed the good lady's words, Highness. You must hurry. Still in here, are you? It's been the better part of an hour.
Gafgarian, you forget yourself, sir. You are in the presence of the princess.
Notice that he doesn't kneel. Mayhap bowed heads would less offend. You do well to waste less time on idle pleasantries.
You see, even the noble order of the Northern Sky cannot rid itself of vulgar knaves.
Guard captain, these rain-sodden hinterlands ought not expect chivalry. We are in the employ of the order, not of it. Our pay does not cover trite courtesies to the likes of you.
Govern your tongue! Enough, let us be on our way.
The Father watch over you, child.
And you, Elder. Milady, the enemy is upon us.
Duke Goltana's men.
She is off.
We are paid for this. Time to earn our keep. What is it, Auld? You above getting paid to do a job?
I'm a knight no longer, just another sellsword.
Right then, to battle!
Deliver us, O Lord.
So being emulation, there are some glitches, and there's a... The music is going to get a little glitched out with this rain. I've basically tried everything and haven't been able to fix it. It seems to be a known issue with the later versions of the emulator.
They bear the crest of the Black Lion. Duke Goltana must be mad. Does he mean to start a war?
You there, wench. You cannot hope to defeat us. Despite the fact that you're all higher level than us. I did not get this in running slow. I did not get that multiple test recordings. I don't know, maybe I changed something. I'll have to look at the settings if it keeps happening. You will surrender the princess. If not, well, I would hate to see anything happen to that pretty face of yours. A head-on assault, these swords of Goltana. Lackwits, one and all. Unless, of course, there's something else going on, Gafgarian.
In that case, we should be able to handle this without you, Gafgarian.
Mayhap you could, but there's no money to be made in that. Lad, Auld, with me! Lad is the guy next to Auld. Objective, defeat all enemies. This is a purely tutorial battle. It is almost unlosable. Kill them all, leave no man standing.
You would have us slaughter them? Are you mad? Kill them here and you'll have played into Duke Goltana's hands. We need only put them to rout.
I find dead men rout more easily. So you see that Gafgarian is going first. And he uses something that does quite a bit of damage. Well, we'll see if it really is quite a bit of damage. I am moving next, but before we do that, I want to pull up the, so we can take a look at the turn list. Auld, then Agrius and Alicia, then Lavian, then Lazalis and Weslep, Biggs, Deutsch. Biggs! That's a familiar name. Fuchs, Lad, and then Gafgarian again, and then me. If we look at the unit list, the reason why Gafgarian is going first is because his speed is 7, everyone else's speed is 6. Basically, the way that the game handles it is that each tick, it adds up your speed stat. So, starts at, I think the entire game's, I think battles start at 100, but I'm not sure. Might start at 0. I'd have to go look at that. But, actually, no, they should start at 0. That's right. If everyone is at 6, then everyone will hit the CT, charge time, at the exact same point. But Gafgarian ticked up faster because of that 7. So he's already rolled over into 19 by the time the rest of us are getting up to 100. He's already had his action. And that kind of shows how important the speed stat is. A speed of 7 will get you... You'll move faster than, anyone else if everyone else is 6. And in a long battle, you'll get a lot more turns. And then if you could just get that up to like 8 or 9 or 10 compared to 6, you can see just how quickly you can really move compared to everyone else. So it's a pretty important stat. In terms of this battle, you can see that Gafgarian is level 10. Agrius is level 10. I am level 9. Lazalis, the leader of the enemy, is level 9. Lad is 8. Alicia and Lavian are level 8. And then most of the rest is level 7 and 6. So this is not a hard battle. Like, we out-hit point them substantially. Really, it's only Alicia, Lavian, and Lad who have fewer hit points than their leader. And everyone else has, substantially more. So, like I said, it is almost unwinnable. Unlosable, I should say. We have Tailwind. So, like I was saying, that this is a pretty good thing. Boost an ally's speed. Range 3, radius 1. Let's go ahead and do that. So now I am as fast as Gafgarian. And we go ahead and move up here. Agrius is going to go move. And she is going to kill him with a pretty powerful attack. So we're only controlling Auld in this fight. Okay, so he has identified me as the weakest between Agrius and myself. But I did dodge that, so that's pretty nice. The archer is doing charge. Just running up and being dumb. And you can do that. Holy cow! I didn't know you had fire! I believe the damage was reduced because it's raining. Aim plus 3, they charge up. Basically, they're getting an aim, and they'll do extra damage. That's nice that they target different people. So Gafgarian likes to stay away from the enemy and uses ranged sword abilities. And that chemist is gonna die. The gender of the characters can be, you can tell based on the screams. You can do some zoom outs. What is that back here? There is some tiles there. Looks like there's a door there. I'm sure that will not play any part in anything whatsoever. Okay, I'm just trying to get used to the controls. They're different than what I expect, but that's going to be fairly normal. Alright, let me get around behind you. And I can only do 42 points of damage. Let's take a quick look at the unit list. So damage is calculated. There might be a little bit more to it, but it's essentially takes your weapon power times your attack power, 7 times 6, and then multiplied by a percent equal to your bravery, give or take. So we were going to do 42 damage. 7 times 6 is 42. I think that there is some zodiac compatibility. Let's see. No? Maybe it's because I'm behind him. That might be it. I think usually attacking from behind just makes it easier for you to hit. I don't know. I gained a level, yay! So her sword blow has a chance to stop. I don't know why she didn't go after the one that was already injured. I don't know why she didn't go after the dangerous one there, Lazalis. So he's going to use a potion. Try to run away. Okay, took her out. It's okay, no one can permanently die in this battle. Lad's gonna burn her corpse. Excellent, go after him. What is Gafgarian's brave stat? 61. Let's see. I think I want to take you out. Just walk over her corpse. It's fine. Goodbye. Not a whole lot that Lavian can do there. But she did take out the chemist, so... Judgment Blade. Oh, and he got stopped. Nice. That is pretty awesome. Alright, so he is going to charge. Lad's coming in. I think this is the first time in multiple tests that Lad has actually gotten involved. Probably because he didn't have fire before. I think they tend to have random additional skills and stuff like that. No, I think I'm going to go next. Yes. Oh, buddy, guess what? Time for you to die.
The princess.
Interesting note,
This
the
way.
Japanese
Be quick and try making a little less noise.
Japanese
I won't
version.
take orders from you.
You've quite a mouth on you, princess.
Didn't have voice acting. This is unique to the
Forgive me.
US version.
'Tis your birth and faith that wrong you, not I.
Yeah, you're kind of being the instrument of that wronging, though.
Hold there.
Is it truly him?
It cannot be.
Delita, he lives? But why does he fight under the banner of Duke Goltana?
So we heard about Delita at the beginning as being the hero, and here we see him kidnapping a princess. Records of the hero Delita first appear 1 year before the outbreak of the War of the Lions. The loss of the 50 Years' War saw knights returning from the front stripped of livelihood, their fealty to the crown and nobility abandoned. Many became rogues and traitors, men donning the thief's cloak and plotting treason against the crown. It was a time of great unrest for Ivalice. Murder and theft were commonplace. Many were the young adventurer and mage who stepped forward to counter this threat. Of such the city of Gerland, too, saw its share. Chapter 1, The Meager. The Royal Military Academy at Gerland. So one thing to also point out, I'm using a fixed ROM. The original release had pretty major slowdown during battles. This was in the release. That was not an emulation issue, with the emulator. Luckily, someone figured out what the cause was and fixed the, created a patch for the ROM, so we can play it without that slowdown. But yeah, it's amazing that that would have gotten through into the release. Another Wayne was struck last night on its way to Egros. I think Wayne means, like wagon train or caravan or something. The Corpse Brigade again? I wonder where all this leads. Delita, what do you make of this? I'm not sure. I have my guesses, but I'm listening. I think Duke Larg is coming to Garaland. Duke Larg? Why? Not just the Duke. The Marquis Elmdor, de Limberry, too. So, well, Marquis is the British pronunciation. They are pretty clearly trying to go for more of a British flavor, if not for the, the fact that I don't think any of the voice actors are British, but, you know, that's what they're going for. That's what they went for in Final Fantasy XII, so I'm going to probably try to use the British pronunciation of Marquis. That's the first I've heard of it. This is not the sound of a state visit. All of Ivalice is in turmoil. The Order's supposed to be keeping things under control, but the fact is, they number too few. I should also point out, in that first video, we've basically had all the voice actors so far, with a couple exceptions. And I do mean a couple of exceptions. The voice for Ramza is Phil Lamar, who has done way more roles than I can list. The voice of Delita is Robin Atkin-Downs, familiar recently for being Master Miller in the Metal Gear Solid games, the recent Metal Gear Solid games, like 5. More familiar to me as Byron from Babylon 5. The voice of Ovelia is Carrie Walgren, who also does another princess in another Final Fantasy game, specifically Final Fantasy XII. Yeah, she does the voice of Ash there, and more roles in other things than I can list. The voice of Agrius is Hedy Barres, who did the voice of Yuna in Final Fantasy X. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the timing of this release to see if they may have recorded it at the same time as 12, but I don't think there's that many lines. There were that many lines to record. Like, they probably could have done each person's recordings in one day, kind of thing. So, but I do like it. I do like the addition, and I find it just kind of amazing that they would put that in addition on the U.S. version when they didn't do that in Japan. It's much more likely to, like in the history of games being released here in the U.S., they're much more likely to put voices into the Japanese version and not have them in the American version, in my experience. Anyway, let's get back to the story. The Order's supposed to be keeping things under control, but the fact is they number too few. And they mean to bolster their numbers with us? Alright, everybody, form up! Incidentally, all the people in this group are the starting army that you have in this game. You have 2 male squires, 2 female squires, and 1 male chemist and 1 female chemist. The Order of the Northern Sky has an assignment for its Knights Apprentice. As I'm sure you're already aware, the number of brigands roaming Galleon is on the rise. Among them, the Corpse Brigade, a seditious lot with a grudge against the Crown. Rogues such as they must be dealt with. The Order has been commanded to undertake an operation to eliminate the brigade, an operation of a grand scale. We will not be acting alone. The Order will be joined by, among others, His Excellency Duke Larg's Royal Guard, stationed at Egros. This will leave Egros Castle undermanned. Your task will be to proceed there and support us from the rear by bolstering its defenses. The time to take up arms is upon you, young apprentices. I've just received word that a band of thieves routed by our knights flees here to Garland, seeking refuge. We'll move to stop them and finish the task of our brothers. You, young apprentices, will accompany us. Getting a little bit of a Emperor vibe with that line. This is but a squall before the storm of battle. Prepare yourselves at once. Dismissed. I guess we will save it, but when we come back next time, we will face our second battle, and our first real battle, non-tutorial, well, it is still kind of a tutorial battle, but it's the first one that you can really lose, the first one in which you could really lose characters and stuff like that. I have already done it off camera because I'll be loading a game where I've created our replacement party. But we'll still be playing through this anyway. But that will be next time. See you then, everyone.